Hi, I'm Cyndi from the Metis Group. I had a very interesting conversation this week with one of our favorite clients regarding a critical thinking test and whether or not it made sense to administer the critical thinking test to a superintendent who may not have to do much critical thinking. By the end, he was convinced that it still needed to take place. Here are some things to consider. Even though the individual may not need to do a lot of critical thinking, what happens if he scores very, very high on the critical thinking test, but reports to someone whose critical thinking scores are significantly lower? How challenged will that individual feel? Or if the work itself isn't very challenging and their score is very high, the individual who scores very strong in the critical thinking test may get very bored with the work and may not stick around because she just doesn't think that it's going to keep her challenged either. Finally, if someone does score lower than you had hoped, but not too low, it's still something that can be worked on because we know the brain is like any other muscle. If it's not used, it's certainly going to atrophy. But if we know what parts of the brain need to be exercised a little bit more, is it the part about reading between the lines and understanding what's meant, not just what's said? Is it the ability to distinguish the key components of a situation that are most critical? Or is it the ability to make the right decisions? If we know the pieces that really need to be exercised, then we can put this person kind of on a work program to make sure that they're strengthening those muscles and getting stronger and stronger every day. So whether you need someone with very strong skills or need to understand if the job doesn't require that, but the individual has it, how to keep them engaged, how to keep them challenged, and how to make sure they're thinking further down the line, critical thinking is never something that should be eliminated from consideration in the selection process.